Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. There once was a church which wrote to their denominational headquarters, "Please send us a pastor who works well with youth and who doesn't know Greek." You feel for that congregation, and especially for what they must have endured in the sermons they heard. I try not to afflict you with Greek words in my sermons. God is hard enough to understand without throwing in words from a different language. Nevertheless, there are times when the Greek word is important and has a meaning that just doesn't translate well or completely into our English counterpart. To understand what's being said in the Bible, you have to explain it a bit more. This week we're looking at 10 important Greek words and their implications for life and faith. The first word today is anthropos. The word itself simply means man or human. Anthropology, the study of human societies and cultures and their development, also comes from this Greek word. This word is used 560 times in the New Testament, and again, it's one of those words that means more than it first seems. A noun is a person, place, or thing, and when we think of a human, we tend to think that way. It is what it is. But when the Bible uses this word, it means a bit more. First, it means a human as distinct from the rest of creation. God has made people unique and different from all animals, plants, and the rest of creation. Along with that, it is understood that we share the human condition too. We are subject to weakness, death, sin, evil, flattery, and error. And along with all that, when compared to God, we are limited in our thinking and conduct. So this word can apply simply to the thing we call a human being, but to be a human being means more. We are distinctive from the rest of creation. We are weak and fallible, and we fall short of God. It's so easy for us to get puffed up with ourselves and forget that. But it's important for us to recognize our place in the scheme of things. It's important that God has made us who we are. It's important to remember whose we are. The word Baptizma means exactly what it sounds like, to baptize. The root of this word means to dip or immerse. Interestingly, there is a long history of a variety of cultures practicing some sort of cleansing ritual, but the baptism practiced by the early church was different from all of those. Just as we take a bath to cleanse away the dirty exteriors of our bodies, so baptism was seen as a way to wash away uncleanness before God. In ancient times, many different liquids were used for this kind of thing, but water also gives life. And so in baptism, we are not only cleansed, but we are given new life. The reason baptism is effective for us is not that we do it or the pastor does it, but that it is an action of God, which gets its force from the reconciling death of Christ. There are several ways to understand baptism, but the Lutheran faith understands that baptism is God's action, claiming us as God's own child when we can do nothing to save ourselves. I've told the story many times with his permission, the story of my son Michael's baptism. As we gathered around the font, Michael suddenly scrunched up his face for a moment or two and then relaxed. A few seconds later, our noses detected that he had just had the worst, stinkiest diaper of his life. We were forced to endure it through the baptism, but I remember thinking, when Michael is at his most offensive, God still reached to him in love and said, "You are my child, and I love you." Let your light so shine before others that they may give glory to God. Thanks for watching. and remember to let this day belong to God.